Welcome to Parchment Update, an interview series from the Parchment Community Library to bring your community closer to you. I'm Karen Woodworth, Library Ambassador. I'm joined today by Kate Boeve. She's the Secretary and Athletic Director of the Kalamazoo Scottish Festival Association. Thank you for being here today.
Thanks very much for having us.
Well,
Appreciate
the
it.
the Scottish Festival will be held in Kindleberger Park on Saturday, September 7th, beginning at 9 o'clock in the morning. Admission is free and open to all. Of course, you don't have to be Scottish to attend. The festival is made up of many different activities, a little something for everyone. Kate, since you're the athletic director, let's start with the Highland Games. Which events will be featured?
Well, there's typically nine events, and they're all events that are throwing heavy stuff. There's throwing stones, and that was the precursor to the Olympic shot put. We throw balls on the end, lead balls on the end of chains, and that plus our hammer throw became the hammer throw in the Olympics, which is a big metal ball on the end of a handle. And we have a sheaf toss, which the Americans and Canadians added in, and it's a sheaf of hay thrown with a pitchfork up and over a bar. And of course, there's our traditional kilted caber throw, where you take a tree and you make the base a little bit smaller so it can fit in your hand and you run and throw it. So those nine events will be played by everybody. And I did want to add that we have people from 12 years old to almost 70 playing, men and women, several novices who've never played in a game or just maybe played once. So it's a very open field. We love to have new people throw with us.
Well, that sounds great. Yeah, it's always so inspiring to watch the power of these athletes as they're out there competing on the field.
It's fun because we have a large field, so as you're watching, you can see several different events being played by a different group at once. So there's a lot going on.
Okay. Well, what kind of music will we hear at the festival this year?
Well, there's a lot of great music. Will start out with the Kalamazoo Pipe Band, which is a bagpipe and drum corps centered out of Kalamazoo. We do a lot with them. They're just a great group. They'll kick off the festival with the opening ceremonies with their pipes and playing national anthems and things. And then all through the day, they'll be having different times of concerts and also kitchen piping, which is where a piper goes out and just plays in the field, and it just sets a great atmosphere. But we also have the Kalamazoo local Celtic group, Selkie, who has a lot of knowledge of Celtic music, deep knowledge. Tony Bresnahan. We have four young folk musicians, and much of the folk music in America comes from the Celtic heritage of people who came over. And a really interesting thing will be one of the bagpipers will do a bagpipe lesson with his students in front of the audience. So you get to see how do you learn bagpipes. That'll be very cool. And Kalamazoo Scottish Country Dancers will be dancing again, and they'll have the audience joining in the dance, poetry reading. It'll be a lot of neat entertainment in music and dance.
That does sound like a great lineup. Yeah, Selkie played at the library last year in our part of our Second Sundays live series, and getting to see a bagpipe lesson, you don't get to see that all the time.
Oh,
Where will people find the music at the festival this year?
well, we're going to have posters up, but they're pretty much that have the map of different areas, but it's pretty much in the center of the lower half of Kindleberger Park. But it will be very obvious to see where that tent is set up, and there'll be vendors around it and tables so you can sit and eat and watch. It should be great.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I want to talk about clan tents now, and so I should start by saying that my family has been hosting the Clan McCullum Malcolm Society tent for many years now, and it's always so fun to talk to people who stop by. But I have to admit that before we did this, I found the clan tents to be a little intimidating. So I want everyone to know that the people in the clan tents are there to tell you about their clan and other parts of Scottish culture, whether or not you share their name. We welcome you to take a look at what's on display and ask questions. And children are especially welcome. And you mentioned you have more clan tents this year. Is that the case, or you're still getting
Yeah,
clan tents signing up?
We're still getting more signing up. We have 15 clan tents and Scottish and Celtic Society tents. And like you said, they do not want to be intimidating. They like to help with your own heritage. They do some genealogy work there, help. They have pictures and artifacts and of course their own tartans. So it's a great opportunity to learn more about that culture.
Yeah.
Irish and Scottish both.
Yeah. And so families come to this, everybody comes to this. What special activities are being planned for children at the festival this year?
Well, we have a great children's area, especially for their own at the festival. We have a mini version of Highland Games for them, arts and crafts. They can make their own Scottish targe, which is a shield that the Scots used. Um, they can win prizes and they can make medallions. And we have a vendor that's coming. I'll talk more about them later, but he does 3D toys, and one of his options is you could build your own sword. I'm guessing children will love to go to that. And another really cool connection is we're going to have a big expanded animal area. We'll have miniature Highland cattle and Irish cow, miniature horses, several Celtic dog breeds. So I think it'll be really tuned for kids. Plus, they can enjoy the dancing and the music and the piping and everything.
Well, that sounds great. Yeah, and having the animals there too is going to be so exciting.
We're
Um,
very excited.
yeah, so you mentioned vendors, and I have been accused in the past of seeing this just as a shopping opportunity by my family because there is good shopping there. But tell us a little bit about this year's vendors, please.
Well, first on the material vendors, it's going to be better shopping than you've ever seen, Karen. There's going to be 18 arts and crafts vendors featuring jewelry, clothing, clan accessories, artwork, soap, candles, wood, and bowls. This is new for us, featuring Scottish and Irish clothing. You can actually be measured and ordered a kilt there or leather belts. So we're really excited about the uh the vendors this year. 18 of them is going to be really big. And
That's
then the food
fantastic. Yeah.
Oh, I was going to go on. The food vendors will have 10, and four of them are going to include one completely Scottish food, and three others will have Scottish food included in their list. So it's sort of a little mini food truck gathering, too.
I always do enjoy having the Scottish food at the Scottish festivals. So I feel like we've barely scratched the surface. What else would you like people to know?
Well, with the children, I would like to add that besides all those great animals and games, we have a Nessie wagon, the Loch Ness monster, the nice Loch Ness monster, and a Canadian moose mascot that say they want to come and meet all the kids. So that'll be a fun thing for them to ride the Nessie wagon and meet that Canadian moose. Another great thing is the exhibitors that we have. They're not necessarily selling, but often they let kids touch and see how they make, how they spin, how they weave. We have a blacksmith, and it's going to be lots of interactive stuff for families, and lots of times just to sit and either watch or listen to fun stuff going on.
And I want to point out again, this festival is free for people to come to, right?
Yes, yes, we work really hard and have some wonderful sponsors that help us do it. The city of Parchment, manager Nancy Stoddard, and all the city park employees, Bill Cahill, they're just wonderful at helping us get all set up and allowing us to do a little banner advertising. You guys let us do some advertising and your billboards and on your property. So we get a lot of sponsorship, and it's free. And I've been told by several people who have been in Scotland that this feels like a Scottish country festival. So we're really excited that we're authentic.
Well, that's good to hear. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I should mention that we do have an exhibit in our display case in the library lobby right now, of Scottish postcards and other items in
great,
anticipation of the Kalamazoo Scottish Festival. So we're all looking forward
wonderful.
to it. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today about the Kalamazoo Scottish Festival.
You're welcome. And if people want to see more, they could look at our website, the Kalamazoo Scottish Fest.org.